and Alistair is also a Best Award winner. And we also have Ross, Rose or Ross, I'm so sorry, designer at Fullman Design. They also got the Best Award winner, Red Dot Junior Award, Gold Good Design Award winner. And so, yeah, I'm just gonna let Alistair and Ross take over and just tell about them. So, Alistair, just want to discuss your current role.
Yep. So I work for a tech company called Matter. I'm just going to share my screen. Bear with me. So you can see that.
Yeah.
Yep. So I work for a company called Matter, and what they do is they set out to solve challenges around digital security, privacy, and data verification. So very much in the tech and digital identity space, which was new for me, coming from graphic design. And so what they do is they sort of build infrastructure to support credentials and digital identity, and in doing so restore digital trust. And so sort of an example of what that might look like is technology around digital wallets. So you could have your degree or your driver's license or your power company, and there's a lot of emerging technologies around this where, like, Apple, for example, is now making mobile driver's license accessible on their digital wallets. So it's sort of this emerging technology, and we sort of focus on building the infrastructure around that. So the company is essentially made up of lots of developers, and they're building products for developers. And so I'm a part of the design team, and a lot of my work will consist of creating videos, so marketing videos, animated explainer videos, demonstration videos. We will talk through our product and sort of explain how it works, and then just other general sales collateral, such as like presentations for customers and sort of engagements with them. And so my first role in the industry, sort of in a design role, was for a tire company. So just creating general marketing material for them, posters, website assets. And that was a bit of fun, kept me busy during uni. And then after that, got a role working at a solar panel company as a videographer / graphic designer. And that was a lot of fun. So what they did was they sold these DIY kits that you could sort of assemble yourselves, and then like sort of anyone could build it. So my role would sort of be building instruction manuals and then creating customer interviews and sort of selling that. And I think Rose might be having trouble trying to get in. She's saying that she can't enter. Is anyone getting a request from her?
Yeah, I was thinking of her. No, I didn't have any request from her to enter the room. What I will do,
Maybe if you flick her an email with the link behind them.
That's fine. I will send her the link again.
Sweet. Cool. Yeah. So, and then from December of last year, started contracting for Matter here, and then sort of went full time earlier this year. And so how I got that Matter job was sort of through DINS. So both Rose and I did a lot of, well, Jim actually put us forward for being a part of the student council, which was sort of a voluntary role where we would help out with Best Award events and general DINS events, working the door or working behind the bar. So that was a lot of fun. And we'd host a couple of podcasts as well. So that was a really worthwhile experience. And basically through Kathy, I sort of reached out to her at the end of last year saying, hey, is there any sort of motion design roles out there? And at the same time, Wayne here, my colleague, now colleague, had reached out. And so it was sort of just good timing there. And so, yeah, what I might do is move over to my capstone project. So I finished media design school last year. And so our capstone project was, let's press play. So it was essentially an installation about space and trying to sort of educate and ignite conversation around space exploration. So this installation here, Bringing Light to Solar Sails, is sort of talking about the concept of solar sails, which are these lightweight spacecrafts that are propelled by light, and they're kind of like this almost kite-looking structure. And they have a reflective material that when light hits them, they sort of can be propelled deep into space. And so this is sort of an idea that's been concepted, and there's like a couple of sort of tests that have been done, but still very new concepts. And that they could potentially reach the speed of light, like 20% the speed of light, and be used to survey beyond our solar system. And so the project's trying to just sort of make people realize that, you know, there's more out there, and just trying to start that conversation. And it might not be this technology that gets used in the future, but you know, anything's possible. It could be something else. And so it's made up of these three projectors inside these light boxes here, and we're kind of using light to tell the story of using light to explore deep space. And so I guess some of the other questions that I'll stop sharing my thing. Cool. So some of the other points were sort of talking about what media design school has taught me. And I think some of the like things that prepared me best when we were at MDS was sort of, you know, how kind of collaborative the university is. Like, you know, you can sort of approach Jim whenever you like, although he might be quite busy and frantically running around. You can usually, you know, catch the lecturers and get help from them, Jocelyn and such, which is great. And then there's also lots of those sort of collaborative projects, you know, the Auckland Art Gallery projects. And I saw the project that you students had done recently with that environment group that looked really awesome. So like lots of ways to sort of see how your role fits within a team and what that's like, because, you know, it's very likely that when you're in the industry, you're going to be working with others. It's sort of, you know, unavoidable really. So learning that from a very early on stage, and then all those tools around like ideation and pretty much the stuff that you start learning from year one, like Lucy's creative writing classes to doing, you know, mind mapping and mood boarding and lo-fi concepting. Like it all sounds like sort of quite sort of simple stuff, but it is really important to like remember that stuff when you first start on a project. And I feel like it just goes a really long way if you just sort of apply some of those. So you're just sort of like covering your bases when you're trying something out. And then all the prezos that we did, all those presentations, like it sort of definitely prepares you for, you know, pitching your ideas to stakeholders when you're in the industry. So yeah, definitely very helpful. And then other advice, I guess, is just, you know, just start seeing what studios are out there. I feel like there's so many low-key studios that will pop out of nowhere and you're like, oh, I didn't even know that one existed. So there's, it might feel like there's sort of only the big studios and it's kind of scary, but there seems to be heaps of little spots. And then also just like pretty much every company needs graphic design as well. So there's definitely lots of opportunities out there. I guess it's just a matter of kind of like going out there and networking, which can be difficult, but I guess it just sort of happens with that without realizing. I guess just going along to like Din's events, and when Tammy and Jim bring in like those sort of people from studio to talk, you know, just like chatting with them afterwards. And then yeah, I think once you've sort of got that job in the industry, it's definitely important to kind of keep those side hustles going. I kind of felt that when I first started with Matter, you know, you want to make a good impression, you want to work hard, but then I felt like I was very much thinking Matter, and I wasn't sort of thinking about my own kind of creative projects that really like, oh, here we go.
Yeah,
so yeah, definitely just doing those side hustles, keeping yourself busy, even if it's just like drawing, just remembering to do that kind of work. But yeah, that's pretty much me. Rose, you missed my our giant presentation.
Sorry, yeah, I don't know what was going on.
Welcome to this session, Rosie.
Hey.
We're recording it, so I can share that with you.
Yeah, cool. Thanks.
No worries.
So I guess, is it worth opening up to questions or passing it over to Rose, Zainal? How do you want to?
Well, we'll first open up to questions. So if anyone has any questions, either type it in the chat or actually just speak it out. I think that would be faster. Because I think obviously Rose is going to have obviously a different experience to you, Alistair. So there's any, okay, there you go. There's some questions already. Awesome.
Cool. Both like Grid Free was a solar panel company, and the tire company, I think both of those were student job search, and I think I was just lucky enough to sort of go along and, you know, The tire place was quite funny because I got that in year one, and I felt like my portfolio wasn't even that good, but I just kind of went along, and the people interviewing me just kind of like spoke at me, and I hardly managed to even get a word. And I think they just wanted someone that could like just operate the computer and do a bit of Mac ops work. And then like before you know it, I was sort of working there. And then yeah, same with Grid Free. I just sort of went along. So that was all student job search. So I guess scanning through there. But then it can be a bit intimidating because you go onto Seek or something, and then you see there'll be like a job where there's been 300 other applicants on Seek. So I don't know, it is tough because I feel like it is also definitely who you know as well. Like with my getting the Matter gig, that was sort of through DINS. So I think just sort of all, as many kind of outlets as you can find to sort of find those jobs. But I hope that helps, Aiden. It is difficult, but then once you're underway, it's you're unstoppable.
Yeah. That's good. Anyone else have any questions?
Thank you.
Oh.
So I'll do Aiden's one. So what's good to have on your portfolio as a graphic designer? I don't know, I guess from a motion sense, being a motion designer is probably building up a portfolio, but actually I think you year threes, I'm guessing you probably did the portfolio thing with Tammy earlier this year, and a lot of that was sort of, she helps you realize like which direction do you want to go, and what kind of designer do you want to be, and like thinking about your community and all this kind of carry on, which sort of helps you frame like where you want to go with your portfolio. But I guess at the end of the day, just all your best work, probably as a graphic designer, I guess on a website, laying that out. But yeah, I guess it also depends on what kind of job you want. But that's the kind of thing that Tammy and the like will help you figure out in year three. Yeah, just all your decent work. Hilton, do you do any more study on the side after uni is finished? So just recently, I think lockdown sort of helped me try and realize that, like I said before, I was very much thinking just Matter work. But I kind of was sort of thinking, I'm keen to do my own work. So I've just sort of like signed up for some online courses and just keeping on top of that. But it definitely takes a bit more kind of time. And, I think with being locked down, I don't have to worry about commuting. So I've got a little bit of extra time to play with it. Yeah, definitely trying to keep on upskilling.
That's good. That's good. I feel like everyone's feeling like that during lockdown. Like, I mean, I've just been lazing around, but so I can't really say much. But
so,
we'll.
I was going to say, you guys are on holiday now?
Yes, we are. We are on currently a 2-week break, so thank God for that.
Yeah, very nice. Well, it is a bit of a shame that you're all in lockdown again, but I guess it is that time to do those online courses, or just get ready for the next term, or just sort of work on those passion projects. So
for sure, yeah. So we'll just pass it on to Rosie. As I said before, Rosie is a designer at Fullman Design. She's got the DINS Best Award winner. She's the Red Dot Junior Award, the Gold Good Design Award winner as well. So definitely not making you feel nervous at all. A lot of pressure on you. So just want to start off by discussing your current role.
Yeah, cool. Okay, thanks for that introduction.
No worries.
Sweet. So should I share my screen? How do I do that? Sorry, it's been so long since I did this.
No, that's all good.
Well, I'll start talking about it. So yeah, for my capstone, I actually started on typography. So I did a completely different project for the first 8 weeks. And then we went into lockdown and I completely changed it. So yeah, if anyone goes through that with their capstone, it's I wouldn't really recommend it, but it worked. So yeah, I think it's best just do whatever you're super passionate about. I think it's a long project, like 16 weeks is a long time to think about one thing. So make sure it's something that you want to think about for that long. I didn't, obviously I failed at that, but try and pick the right thing at the start. Sorry, how do I share my screen?
So on the top right next to you see the red button that says leave. To the left of it, it will just be like an upload button. Just press share content.
Okay.
And you're all good. So you click on it, and then there should be several options. Yeah, there you go.
Am I sharing?
Yep.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. So I'll play the video. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it. Please excuse the free audio. I think that's the one thing that's the most exciting about going from uni to the industry is not being stuck with free fonts and free audio and everything like that. So should I talk more about the project, or is it more about what I'm doing now?
Oh, so I guess you can start off by saying, well, like what your current role is like yeah, what you're currently doing at Fullman Design.
Okay, so I started as an intern, I think it was mid last year, maybe a bit later, and that was John, my boss, came into media design school to do a talk, and yeah, he basically said he wanted people that were going to email and really chase sort of getting a position. So I sent him an email while he was talking, and then went in to see the studio, which is what everyone says, can I come in and see what the studio is like? Which is not what they mean. I think it's definitely like hard to do if you're like personally, I found it really difficult to send that email. I felt really like, I think you'll always feel kind of annoying being a student, being like, hey, can I come see the studio? Like, but I think you have to do it. It's not pleasant. Networking and all of that stuff isn't obviously going to come naturally to a lot of people. So I think it's, yeah, just getting your head past that and taking the shot. But yeah, so it was really chill. Just went in, had an interview, I guess. Showed him my portfolio. So I was really lucky we did have the portfolio paper because I just finished it. So I did have a website to show him. And yeah, then I started full-time when uni finished last year, and yeah, just been working there since. So I'm a junior designer, but it's a tiny studio. So being a junior designer is sort of open, like junior, intermediate, senior, they're all very blurred together. And yeah, so it's tiny. It's me, John, my boss, who's the creative director, his wife, who does all the business stuff, and then 2 other designers who are super talented, which is awesome. Obviously, it's, I think, always hard going into the industry when you've come from your 3rd year of uni where you're kind of not on top of the world, but you're the best you've been and you're pretty comfortable, I'd say. And then you sort of drop. Well, you'll start working with obviously senior designers who have so much more experience. And so that can be a bit of a challenge, but I think it's definitely good. And you want to be in that position because you want to be around people that you're going to learn from. So you want it to be a struggle, I think, at first. But yeah, just something to keep in mind when you leave uni and go into the industry. It's quite a step up, I guess. But at the same time, I think media design school prepared us really well with having briefs that are super open. You have to do it like it's an actual job. Compared to people that do more theory and then have never actually done a project start to finish in the way that we do. So yeah, I mean, that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'll show you some of their work because it's pretty cool. So this project here, pretty much every graphic designer's dream. We had to do, or we did a thing for Reeves. So they've got a paper range, and we basically just had to produce something that showed off their paper, made their paper really cool, and showed off printing techniques. So see if we've got it as a full project. Yeah. So it's a little book, kind of A6-ish. And each page you can rip out. And all of them are just super fun, super creative poster kind of layouts. And each of them are on a different paper stock. And if you look at the content on each page, it'll say what the paper type is, what GSM it is, just all of the details of the printing process. So we got to show off sort of embossing, using heaps of different foils, which is really cool. So neon foil, holographic foil, pretty much just like everything that's cool that you can do with print. We got to use in this. So if you zoom in, you can see that they've all got really cool paper textures. But yeah, so this was like a designer's dream. Like you're just doing random posters, and you've got to put the content in. But other than that, it's pretty much whatever you want. So this was super fun. This was when I just started, so I didn't have much of a go. But yeah, like this is the kind of stuff that you want to do when you get out of uni and into a studio, is just purely creative fun. Obviously it's not all like that, but this was an awesome project. And other than that, just heaps of branding. Fuman has a background in interior design, so there was a bit of that, but not anymore. But yeah, it's a really cool studio and pretty creative. It's not super advertising, which is cool. Yeah.
Awesome, sweet. No, that's all good. Like all the work that you showed us is really, really cool. Well, and so I guess like because you said it is quite a small company, and you kind of like you obviously like you when you joined in, like there's obviously a lot of things that you have to learn. So I guess since then from to now, how has your like career progressed?
Well, it's insane how quickly you'll go up in the industry. Like I think I would say, I mean, I can only talk from my perspective, which like I've never been in a big studio, to be fair. But being in a small studio, obviously you've got to do everything. Like you're not stuck doing I mean, you have to do that stuff as well, but not just the boring, asset exports and stuff. So I think it's really good. I'm sure there's benefits to being in a bigger studio, but I think it's really good for learning really quickly and having to step up. So yeah, I've just learned so quickly, I think. And I think, yeah, like what Alice was saying, I'm sad I missed the first part, but yeah, just like doing what you're into in your own time. That was really hard when I first started. I did not have any energy to do design in my own time after work. Like at the end of the workday, I was not going to sit down at my computer again. So, but now after quite a while, I've gotten back into it, and definitely would recommend. Yeah, would do like just figure out what you like doing, what attracts you to design, and keep doing that, because sometimes your job won't fulfill that. Like if you're stuck doing sort of the boring stuff for a while, it's not going to fuel you creatively. So keep it up in your own time if you can. Yeah.
Sweet. No, that's all good. That's all good. Okay. So like I guess because I mean it's true, because I feel like sometimes a lot of people would get caught up in a lot of their own work, and they wouldn't feel like they will have the pressures like like sometimes I come back from uni and I was like I can't be bothered to do any of this, and I think part of the reason could be because obviously, well, I mean, not part of the reason, but like, because at uni you have to learn everything, right? You have to learn like, if you go into design, you have to kind of learn UI, motion, a little bit of motion, and a little bit of graphic. So what parts of your study best prepared you for the success in your career?
I think I definitely think the wide thing, like covering motion, interactive, and graphic. No matter which one you pick, like you have to do a little bit of all of them. And I think that's like really, really important. A lot of design studios are looking for people that are solid graphic designers. Like I think you have to be a solid graphic designer at the base of it, but if you have motion skills, or UX skills, that's huge, because obviously there's a lot of design, like there's a lot of unis that offer design, a lot of different ways you can go about getting that degree, but most of them don't have motion and stuff built in. So like a lot of the people that, I think it's AUT, a lot of people come out of there and out of graphic design, and they haven't done any motion or UX, so they do a lot of packaging, a lot of stuff like that. But it's yeah, I think if you're, even if you pick graphic and you don't do much of the other two, like try and sell that in, be like, I know how to animate in After Effects, etc. Even if it's, just the start of that, I think it's definitely important, because a lot of studios, like small ones especially, they're not going to hire a full-time, super specific like 3D animator or something. But if you're a graphic designer that can cover those bases, then it's huge for them. So yeah, I think, yeah.
Sweet. No, that's all good. And Alistair, I guess like I feel like, because obviously Rosie, you as you said, Fullman is a kind of a small studio, and I correct me if I'm wrong, but Matter, Alistair, is that like a bigger studio? So like, if it is, like, so what are your so what parts of your studies really prepared you, I guess, for that? Because obviously it's kind of different, you know what I mean? I'm not sure.
So I mean, being a tech company, very different to sort of Rose, where she's at a studio, more of an in-house designer. But we're sort of a small a team around like 4 or 5, and a lot of like UX designers and such. But so do you mean like the tools at MDS that prepared me, or like the teachings, or just sort of
So like, I guess like it's like obviously similar to Rose, like what parts of your studies that really best prepared you, I guess? Like did you feel like you could have gotten away with just doing motion, or did knowing elements of UI and graphics really like helped you as well?
Definitely. Well, I guess to echo what Rose was just saying, like if your skills, if you've gone to do graphic and then but you know that motion or that interactive stuff, it really helps. Like I think this year I've done a little bit of sort of HTML and a little bit of CSS stuff, which has always been out of my comfort zone. It's always interested me, but I've always just known like it's just a little bit over my head. But there's been times that they sort of had me to do it, and when it's sort of clients are relying on things to be done, you kind of put under pressure, and actually like that's when you can kind of perform, I guess. But yeah, definitely media design, like you were given, the lecturers like sort of gave you those opportunities to work on those other areas that you're not so confident in. And then at year 3, like they really sort of stress the fact that you're not, well, like you're a designer, you're not just that, you know what I mean? Like I think Tammy really tried to stress the point that you're not just emotional, interactive, or graphic. I mean, but like definitely you still want to find that role that is in that field that you're really interested in as well. So I think you always got to stick to that topic that you're interested in, but just having a knowledge of those other assets, those other kind of skill sets, and also because design's changing so rapidly. Like, I want to have a big push to try and brush off my 3D skills, because like 3D's just taken off, and who knows what will be around the corner, like emerging technologies, AI, or there's a fear of systems that could probably do our work for us soon enough. So just always seeing what's around the corner in terms of other areas, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. All good. No. That's cool. And I guess because Rosie obviously has like you obviously like how you got this job at Fullman Design is like, it's like, as you said previously, like you just sent him an email, and that seemed really simple. So
Yeah.
I guess my question is like, what kind of advice can you give? Like I know you said like you told everyone here that you should be sticking to your roots and whatnot. What advice to the MDS students who are just about to graduate, because obviously it's already September, they're very close to the end. What advice can you give them? And I guess, Alistair, you can also answer that question too. Like, what kind of advice would you give them just about to graduate?
I think it is just swallowing your pride and sending those emails out. Really look into places you want to work. Like I remember when I was researching for the paper, like studios I'd want to work for and stuff. Like it's quite hard to just find really cool studios sometimes. Like there's certain ones that just have better SEO, so they just come up first when you Google design studios, and it's not really that easy to find some of the really cool ones. So I mean, depends what you're going for, but like one way is go on Best Awards and look at not even just the winners, like the finalists, and look at the studios that were involved in those, and they might just have one finalist ever, but they could be a really cool studio. Awards aren't the biggest measure of that. So I don't know, find ways to find all the studios in New Zealand, because I don't know if I would have found Fumin just through Google.
The cat's joining succession.
Yeah, so I think just do your research, try to find studios, send them an email personally, because I don't think Fumin put up a post or anything either to say they were looking for someone. So it's not just people that are going on putting their jobs up on Seek and stuff. Like, a lot of places are always looking for new talent. And yeah, so I think just send emails, and don't worry too much about making sure your portfolio is absolutely perfect. Because I have a lot of mates from my year that when we finished, they still hadn't finalized their portfolios, and they wanted it to be like perfect before they ever sent it to anyone. And I'm talking about like months and months after finishing, still being like, nah, gotta fix it. So I think, yeah, just if it's still got work, or like if it still needs a bit of finalizing, just send it anyway. Don't like miss any opportunities because you want your portfolio to be the best one in the world, Mine has all sorts of problems with it. Like, it's I like made the website and it's super glitchy. If you open it on a mobile, like, good luck to you. So just send it. I think it's just take it, take the chance. But yeah.
And it'll be out of date before you know it as well. Like, you'll sort of polish it all up, and then you'll make an awesome project that you'll want to be the top of your portfolio. So I mean, I almost have half a mind to think, like, I don't even have time to produce a new website. Maybe I just use Instagram as my portfolio, or even a PDF if you really. Oh, maybe not a PDF, but yeah, like I was having that thought before, like just using those pre-built platforms or social media to sort of be your portfolio. But
I've actually seen like because I thought the same, like, oh, surely not a PDF, but I've seen some like really cool. One of the guys that just started at Fumin, I saw his portfolio, and he's a senior designer, super talented. And his was a PDF. I mean, it was like a really, really good PDF, but it was a PDF. So I think, yeah, if you're like daunted by the idea of making a website, then don't. Like, yeah, I don't know. Do what works for you.
Okay. See. How about you, Alistair? Any advice you would give?
I guess, yeah, I had a lot of fun building my portfolio. It was a good way to sort of figure out your brand as well. And like, brushing up on those skills. But I think, for me personally, yeah, maybe my next step is just sort of put everything on Instagram, I guess. I don't really know yet. But I mean, yeah, once you get that job, your portfolio is almost obsolete. And if you're happy at that job, then you're not really going to be wanting to market yourself anywhere. Or, I mean, I don't know. It is definitely important to have it, but it's kind of like what you use to get that job. It's sort of like your meal ticket in a sense. So it's not the most important thing of your career, but it's definitely what you need is that stepping stone to get that job. And then I guess really, like, it's all about the work that's on it rather than the medium then, per se. And I guess you could build an awesome portfolio, but if you haven't made those connections to send it to anyone, then that is also a bit of an effect. So there's, unfortunately, it is a bit of who you know as well. The job isn't always, I mean, it will go to the best person, but it definitely goes a long way just making those connections. So I guess that's also probably, I guess they both go hand in hand. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Well, that's really, really good insight. And I guess we have a question from Lita. So what is it? What's the starting rate for junior designers? If anyone wants to share their their pay slips, you can just screen share.
Well, I guess it kind of varies. Like looking at other people's pay slip, like, well, their annually rate, I think. I mean, it's serious. It does vary a lot, but I guess around like 50,000 to 60. Yeah.
I'd say you'll earn more probably so like if you were a junior designer for ASB, or something like a big corporate, you're going to earn more than if you're at a small studio. Sometimes significantly more. So, you know, I think I think you work in a small studio because you love it, not for the money. Yeah, so it depends. I think any big corporate is going to have sort of like a base salary that they don't go lower than, and you'll probably go with that. So like you could start on potentially like 65K, something like that, if you were going into the design department at a bank or at a big corporate. But yeah, I think when you're talking small studios or anything like that, like it probably varies quite a lot, but it could be as low as like 45. It could be a lot more than that. Really, I think it probably depends. But yeah, I would say there's more money in being a designer for a corporate, but obviously creatively, like personally, I wouldn't be inclined to do that because you're doing like the yellow elephant for ASB every day kind of thing. So it depends what matters more to you, I guess. Yeah.
So I guess I guess like obviously you talk about big corporation giving you more money, obviously, and that doesn't really influence your decision. But what if I guess this is a question for both of you. If one day, like say, I don't know, like ASB or Auckland Transport comes up to you and to say, hey, look, we have this really cool opportunity, whatnot. We would love you to join our team. Would you ever consider it, or would you say, nah, I'm okay staying at a small studio? What are your thoughts?
I'd say no.
You say no?
I worked at ASB on a gap year after high school, so I've realized what I like and what I don't, and I don't like corporate environments, so I'm pretty happy.
Is it just because it's just very, I wouldn't say full on, but like it's just very structured? Is that why?
Yeah, I mean, I would almost say corporate places are in some ways like more relaxed kind of, or at least you like a lot of them will have very set hours and you're never going to work overtime. Obviously some are not like this, but very sort of structured, but I just don't like the corporate environment. Yeah, just sort of I don't know.
I think I'm lucky so, because I guess you could say I'm sort of at a corporate place, but we're still a fairly small number, and a lot of our work is definitely very project based, and it's definitely lots of late nights, and it does kind of feel like we're in a design team unit. So I feel like there definitely is those corporate jobs that are sort of fun and still like that kind of creative passion.
Definitely, yeah.
And I definitely aren't those sort of 9 to 5s. It's just sort of the luck of the draw, really. You don't really know what it's like until you get there, I guess. So I mean, like the same, I don't know. Yeah, I haven't had a lot of experience in studios before, but yeah, I think, and also with Matt, I feel like because our brand is still kind of emerging, we're not just a yellow ASB elephant. We've still got like all kinds of different characteristics to our brand. It's still being developed. So there's definitely lots of room to kind of help grow our brand as well. So there's also lots of benefits in it. I guess it is sort of what interests you at the end of the day. Like I definitely know that a lot of corporate kind of like explainer videos I really enjoy. But I also one day I think I would also like to have that studio experience as well. And I guess it's not a race, and you're not going to get that dream job right away as well. Like, I mean, what would be the point if you get your dream job straight out of uni? You know, you kind of need to work for it as well. So, yeah, I guess it just sort of come as it goes, really. Like, if you get that opportunity and nothing else is going on, then definitely jump on it. Yeah.
Awesome, sweet. So obviously, you two are full time right now. I guess another quick question would be like, would either of you ever consider doing a freelance job on the side? If yes, no, why?
Yeah, it's pretty full on. Like I don't feel like I have a lot of time outside of work to pursue other jobs, like definitely other little fun projects and stuff, but yeah, I mean, I'd be maybe in the future, I think as you go with full-time work, you get a lot more used to it and you can start to feel like you have more time to do other things. But yeah, probably not at the minute for me. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, in an ideal world, yeah, yes, that'd be fun, but I guess I'm sort of treating my own kind of upskilling as my freelance side hustle kind of thing currently. I think, you know, freelancing would appeal one day, that, you know, really being your own boss and doing, finding the projects that really excite you. But then that's sort of the question around funds and security. So like, it is, it's I don't know. I've watched followed a couple of motion design studio podcasts, and they've sort of said that it's, if you wanted to go down the freelancing route, it's good to do, say, 2 years in the industry or 2 years at a studio and kind of figure things out and get that guidance, and then go full-time freelancing. That's sort of whatever works.
Yeah.
It does feel kind of hard to try and get away with doing a big project on the side while sort of, you know, trying to meet deadlines and, you know, work with stakeholders around in the office. So yeah. But you could always do, like, you know, part-time working at a company, and then other half-time freelancing. Like, I think the industry and just jobs in general have really changed sort of since COVID and in this modern kind of working world. Like, my office is great. We have heaps of work from home days, so you can just sort of, you can almost get away with the whole week working from home. And, you know, there's just lots of flexibility now with like tech world and design jobs and just sort of, yeah, one day kind of jobs. So yeah.
Sweet. That's all good. So I guess one final question for me, because obviously you both spoke a lot about your experience, about, you know, how trying to get this job and whatnot and all that. So I guess finally, is if you could go back in time, would you have done anything differently while as a student that would impact your career?
If I could go back in time, can I go to the races?
Well, I don't know. Nah.
So if I could go back in time to see, like, do something different at uni, or to,
yeah, I guess, like, if you had to do, like, something different at uni, you know, or like, I'm not yeah, at uni, I guess, like,
I get what you mean.
You had,
in hindsight, if I'd done something differently.
yeah.
I don't know. There's only so much you can do, really, you know. Like, feel like just keep doing what you're doing, just enjoy, have fun at uni, make the most of it. That'll probably be the one thing. Like, yeah. And just because, like, you've got all the freedom to do your own projects and be your own sort of set the briefs, and it's not really going to be like that when you're working for someone else and doing someone else's idea. So really just sort of making the most of that, you know, and maybe building up those projects so that they could actually be things that you could really expand on in the future, and, you know, almost in the future. I don't know. I guess, yeah, I was trying to, like, build some more camaraderie, like going to the pub with people and stuff, just making the most of doing that, because, you know, you guys are in lockdown again for uni, which must be a real pain. Like, for us working, we're kind of enjoying being in lockdown, but for you guys, like, you're probably all missing each other. So, you know, when you get back next term, just go to the pub, go clubbing. I don't know.
No, that's
yeah. I think genuinely probably, like, just do a bit more of that. I mean, we were in Albert Street, so we should have been, I don't know. I think, yeah, just make the most of it, because uni is a lot more fun in a lot of ways. Like, even, I don't know, like, yeah, getting to do whatever you want for your briefs. Well, not whatever you want, but, you know, within reason. Take advantage of that, like, take full advantage of that, do what you want to do, but then try and branch out. Don't just do the same style over and over again. You know, force yourself outside of your comfort zone. But yeah, I don't think I'd change much. I mean, maybe wasting the first 8 weeks of my capstone project, but to be fair, like,
it's all a part of it.
Might have been a good thing, because maybe I didn't get bored of it because I only had 8 weeks to do it. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's all good. No, it's really awesome. We only have a few minutes left, so does anyone want to ask any questions? Put it in the chat, or just unmute your microphone.
What's the starting rate? There's one here from Toby. How much input to the projects do you get as a junior designer in a small studio? That'll be a good one for Rose.
Because it's so tiny, a lot, like a lot. We kind of typically will get the brief will come through. So my boss does the strategy side of things. So he'll sit down with the client, talk things through with them, figure out exactly what they're looking for, and then we'll get a brief. And then from there, yeah, we sort of work up directions. So usually each of us will have a crack at our own direction, and then the good ones will be put in front of the client. The client will say which one they want to go with. And yeah, obviously, if your one gets picked by the client, then that's a huge part of it is just entirely yours. And then from there, obviously, you refine it and make it a proper brand identity, and that's pretty collaborative. But core of it, if yours gets picked. So it's good. I think it's like the perfect balance of you're still involved enough to be invested, like personally invested and feel like it is your work, but then there's enough collaboration to take advantage of everyone's strong suits and make it as good as it can be. Because if it was just one person all the way through, obviously you'd miss a lot of different perspectives. So yeah, and then that's obviously my studio, which is small for a small studio. So
Yeah.
depends, I think. But yeah, heaps. It's pretty good.
Sweet.
I guess in my experience, I'm sort of the only motion designer in the company. So like the people above me, they're sort of UI and UX and visual design, graphic design. But they still know their stuff. So I guess I'm sort of the custodian of the like videography work and motion work in a sense. But still sort of have that guidance from other people. So yeah, sort of a different kind of sort of environment from Rose's, but I guess that's just an example of like there's so many different jobs out there, so there's sort of, yeah, who knows what you'll sort of end up landing and what it'll be like. So it's all a part of the fun, kind of figure out the industry. I mean, because Rose and I have only done like less than 12 months, so we're still learning ourselves. So yeah.
Oh, that's all good. Sweet. Anyone else have any questions? Cool. Well, I think that's about it. If anyone doesn't have any other questions, well, thank you very much. To you, Alistair, and to you, Rosie, for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Hope you guys have absolute. Wish you all the best for whatever you guys are doing, and we are having fun in this lockdown. As always.
Thanks, Lionel. Yeah, appreciate your questions. Yeah, thanks for hosting us.